And hello to Hong Kong. I know you'll be out there watching it from Sha Tin and Happy Valley. He's a terrific horse in Hong Kong, this fella. He looks an absolute treat today. The conditions are going to help him. He has got 57 kilos, so it's a fair bit of weight, but he won't disgrace himself.
Number 3 is Jearn. The rider is Wayne Harris. As we look there at Dermot Weld, and there is Jearn, trained by David Hayes, one of 4 runners for David, one of Australia's premier trainers.
Well, he's a little unknown in the wet conditions, Jearn. He had his chance on Saturday to run down Paris Lane in the McKinnon Stakes, and he didn't on that occasion. With 56.5, I thought he might be a little worry over the 2 miles.
There's David. Number 4, Our Pompeii. George Hanlon has already tasted success in Melbourne Cups. Jim Cassidy is the rider today.
Well, Our Pompeii, he's not as good as he can be in these conditions, but he has won the Adelaide Cup twice, so the distance isn't a problem. 56 kilos, a fair bit of weight today. He's probably there with a place chance.
Number 5 is Air Seattle. He ran second in the Caulfield Cup last year. That is our other major handicap race. Rodney Griffiths, the rider today, and he's in form, having won the Victoria Derby on Saturday with Blevick.
Well, his run in the McKinnon Stakes on Saturday wasn't too bad at all. 55.5 kilos. He's probably there with a rough each way chance.
One of the great favourites, number 6, Paris Lane, attempting to take out the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup stubble. Damien Oliver is his rider, probably Australia's premier jockey of the moment, and his trainer is Lee Friedman, who's won the Melbourne Cup on 2 occasions.
Yes, Paris Lane is a terrific racehorse, this fellow. He handles the conditions, so that won't be a problem for him. He won the Caulfield Cup in record time. His run on Saturday in the McKinnon Stakes was exceptional, and he's there with a terrific chance here.
Number 7, Hear That Bell, is coming into contention as each raindrop falls. Stephen King is his rider, and John Maher his trainer.
Well, the distance won't worry Hear That Bell. He ran second in the Sydney Cup and possibly should have won there. That was earlier this year. Now now the rain has come. It's going to make his chances a lot better.
The query horse, number 8, Quick Ransom from Great Britain, to be ridden by Brent Thompson, former Australian jockey, now back here for this ride. Mark Johnston is the trainer, and he is a flashy looking type. You won't miss him in the run, Jen.
No, he's a beautiful horse. He's a proven stayer. He hasn't raced since the 9th of September, but it doesn't worry these imported gallopers. He's to be ridden by Brent Thompson, and he'll give him a great side.
Number 9, Umpala, trained up on the Gold Coast, to be ridden by Larry Cassidy. Flopped in the Caulfield Cup, but he's run in the Metropolitan before that. Very good.
Yes, he has had a bit of racing, this horse. He's run in the Caulfield Cup. Well, I couldn't be on him here in the Melbourne Cup after that one.
Number 10 is one of the favourites, top rating, but he would no doubt be an easing favourite at the moment. I think bookmakers will take a risk. He's taped on one of his hind legs. Greek Hall takes the ride by virtue of the fact that Damien Oliver chose Paris Lane, another one trained by David Hayes.
Well, it's a bit of a shame for top rating, really, because his last 3 runs have been perfect for the Melbourne Cup. He only has 52.5 kilos, but he's a little suspect in the wet conditions here.
11 Double Take, the only New Zealand trained runner in the race, to be ridden by Greg Childs.
Well, he's a little doubt over the distance, Double Take. He does handle the wet conditions, so that brings him into it a little bit, but he has drawn awkwardly in barrier 20, and he's going to have to get across.
The Metropolitan Handicap winner, the grey, number 12, Glastonbury, had an unusual preparation yesterday here at Flemington. His trainer David Hayes popped him over 6 hurdles to prepare for a Melbourne Cup.
Yes, well, that might try and smarten him up a little bit. You won't miss him in the run either, because he's a grey. He's not all that good in the wet going, so it probably doesn't give him much of a chance here.
Bart Cummings has trained the winner of 9 Melbourne Cups. Can it be number 10 with his lone representative here in Gossips? Darren Beedman, the jockey, has already won a Melbourne Cup.
Well, Gossips won the VRC St Ledger in great style, and that was over 2,800 metres. Bart Cummings has said that the distance won't worry this horse. He is a little unknown in the wet conditions, but he only has 51.5 kilos, so he's there with a chance.
Brent Thompson looking confident before the race and getting a kiss for good luck. Number 14, Alcove. Tommy Hughes Sr. trained the winner of the previous race. Tommy Hughes Jr. trains Alcove here. Her form in the lead-ups has been excellent, but as we heard before, the rain-affected track is now the query.
It certainly is, Peter. Her runs in the Caulfield Cup and the Cox Plate have both been excellent. She loves Flemington, but the conditions here, well, I don't think it's going to suit her, and unfortunately for her, it's going to lessen her chances quite a lot.
Number 15 is Gold Sovereign, the likely pacemaker in the race, finished last here on Saturday. Craig Carmody is the rider, and there's a very good chance that he could be in front when they reach the winning post the first time.
Yes, the first time, Peter, but I don't think the second time, although he does handle the conditions, I think about the 800-metre mark he might be going backwards instead of forwards.
Grass Valley comes into contention now. Number 16 has won 2 cup races in the country at Geelong and Werribee its last 2 starts. Will appreciate the sting out of the ground here, Jen.
He certainly will. He's a horse that's been going well through the country cups. He's picked up most of them. He only has 50.5 kilos and a lightweight chance.
Oppressor won one of our major mile races, 1600-metre races 3 starts ago, the Toorak Handicap at Caulfield. Today, with David Taggart in the saddle, he has twice as far to travel. He
certainly does, and he doesn't handle these conditions, Pete, so it nearly puts him right out of the race.
18 Starstruck ran on gamely in one of the lead-up races, the Crown Quality, on Saturday afternoon. Was first past the post, but lost it on protest. But she'll just keep on going at the one pace.
She sure will. She just keeps on improving, this mare. She isn't as good in the wet conditions, but she does only have 50 kilos. Awkward barrier, though, barrier 24.
19 Toll Bell, to be ridden by Peter Mertens, will be one of the outsiders. Wasn't a bad run at Geelong, but a big step up in class here.
Yes, Toll Bell normally goes better at the provincial meetings. He's a handy horse there, but here is a little bit tough.
Another one of the query horses, Clifton Gale, to be ridden by Willie Carson, who's won the Epsom Derby 3 times, trained by Dermot Well, a stablemate of Vintage Crop.
Terrific chance here, Peter, with this rain now. She handles the conditions. She's proven over the 2 miles. She's won 4 races. She's from the same stable as Vintage Crop, and I think she's got an excellent chance now.
21 is Coachwood. Shane Dye has elected to ride this horse in preference to Jeune, and surprised a lot of people. It's the 4th of David Hayes' runners.
Yes, he fought on all right in the Crown Quality on Saturday. He is unknown in the wet, so 48.5 kilos. He's probably got a place chance at best.
Number 22 is Major Decision, to be ridden by Kevin Moses, and this horse ran 4th here on Saturday, but again, he's one of the outsiders.
He is one of the outsiders, Peter, but he does handle the wet conditions. Barrier 23 is going to be a little bit difficult, but he got home all right on Saturday.
The grey mare Pindi, number 23, also got home all right on Saturday. Second past the post in the Crown Quality, but was elevated to the winning position on protest, and she's very, very honest.
She's as honest as they come, that's for sure, Peter. She's only got 48.5 kilos. She's a winner in the South Australian Oaks. She's probably got a rough chance in the race.
And the bottom one, the last of the runners, 24, Sweet Glory, will be ridden by Peter Shepherd, a last start 4th in the Geelong Cup.
Well, Sweet Glory doesn't handle these conditions. Had every chance in the Geelong Cup, I thought, and she'd probably need to improve here.
So there is the field for the running of the great race, the 134th running of the Melbourne Cup. And as they go to the stalls, Jen, what's your tip?
Well, Peter, I've originally gone for Top Rating. Now that the rain has come, I think Clifton Gale has got a definite chance. Vintage Crop, with all his problems, he's such a champion horse. I think he can probably do it again, but I'll stick with Top Rating. I've put in second Gossip's number 13 because Bart Cummings trains him. He's a terrific horse. And number 7, Here That Bell, comes right into contention now because the rain has come.
Well, I'll stick with Top Rating too, but I'm getting keener and keener on the great horse. There he is, Vintage Crop, leading them out, and I wonder if he can become only the 4th horse to win back-to-back Melbourne Cups in the race's 133-year history. A magnificent scene as these runners go to the start, and Dan Mielicki is going to take us through the Victorian tote figures, what the totalisator punters have made of the Melbourne Cup right up to the last minute.
Vintage Crop, Peter, is showing $8.20. River Verdun, $48.30 for the win. Jeune, $20.20. Our Pompeii, $20.60. Air Seattle, $46.60. Paris Lane, $7. Hear That Bell, $17.80. Quick Ransom at $8.20. Number 9 Impala, $47.60. 10 Top Rating at $9.20. Double Take, $82. Glastonbury, $52. Gossips, $17.40. Alcove, $8.50. Gold Sovereign, $72. Grass Valley, $33. Oppressor, $119. Starstruck, $35. Toll Bell, $152. Clifton Gale, $9.30. Coachwood, $53. Major Decision, $84. Pindi, $76. And Sweet Glory, $71, with a win pool of over $11 million and the place pool of over $8 million.
Candidates parading up to the start. It's at the 900-metre mark of the long straight here at Flemington. They'll run down to the judges' box and complete another 2,300 metres, one circuit, as Vintage Crop leads them out, and Sweet Glory is last down the race. And these 24 runners racing for a place in history. Terry Kennedy is down in the betting ring. We have the bookmakers and the tote here in Australia, and a flurry of activity down in the betting ring. This is the trophy they're all after, the most famous trophy in Australian sport, $32,500 of the Melbourne Cup. Terry, what do the bookmakers and the punters think might be carrying this cup away?
Well, Pete, the crush is well and truly on down here in the betting ring, with $60 million being registered across the nation on this race alone. The money has all come for the top weight, the defending champion in Vintage Crop. Opened up the day at double each way odds. He has been backed into half those odds. River Verdon, there hasn't been a great deal of money for River Verdon from Hong Kong. Air Seattle, no money. Paris Lane has eased in the market slightly with the bookmakers. Now, Paris Lane, they lost the colours of Paris Lane. They were stolen after his great win in the McKinnon. Of course, the same syndicate that owned Paris Lane own Kensai, or Gurner's Lane, which won the 1982 Melbourne Cup. So they will race in exactly the same silks. So what a great omen that is for the Freedman stable. Hear that bell, it has firm with the rain. Also, Quick Ransom, some more great money for the European galloper from UK. Gossip's been pretty good in the market. Alcove has eased in the market. Top Rating is the one. It was the pre-post favourite. Now it's eased a couple of points. So plenty of money down here, most of it for Vintage Crop.
Righto, Terry Kennedy, and there's just been a bit of drama, as you've seen, with Gossip shying and almost losing rider Darren Beedman, but he's back in business now. Here's the map of the race. They start, as I said, at the 900, and 24 runners. There'll be a lot of jockeying for positions in the early stages, hopefully no crowding. Then by the winning post they go, and at the 2,000 metre mark they begin the run down the riverside. Again, they'll probably settle in their positions until round about this point here, and that's when the moves will be made. They want to be in a good spot when they reach the top of the straight, and then 450 metres between them and Glory, not to mention about $1.3 million in prize money for the winner. Tim, it might be damp today, but it's still a great scene as they go to the stalls for the Melbourne Cup.
Absolutely, Pete, it always is. Wherever you're watching us from, wherever in the world you're watching us from, tense up. We'll know in under 10 minutes the winner of the 1994 Melbourne Cup. As you can see, they're behind the barrier for the 1994 Melbourne Cup. And Peter Donegan, I get a feeling that these racehorses know there's a sense of occasion in history today too.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Tim. These thoroughbreds have come from England, Ireland, Hong Kong, New Zealand, and of course here in Australia to compete in the Melbourne Cup. Will the Cup go overseas again, or will it stay at home base? We'll find out in about 3.5 minutes' time, and as they fill the stalls to call the Melbourne Cup of 1994, here's Dan Mielicki.
Thank you very much, Peter Donegan. Runners filling the stalls. As you can see on screen, there are a couple of the horses out behind the line. Gary Willett's full field of 24.
That's right, Dan, and look, I've watched Vintage Crop go down. I've got to stick with him. Paris Lane, and one I do like, Bart Cummings has got the polish on Gossips. We'll have a good call, Dan, but it's pretty difficult for these jockeys riding in these conditions. Your goggles fog up on you. The rain's over 3,200 metres, get a little bit slippery. I'm surprised a few more of the boys haven't got gloves on today, those Japanese gloves that the few of them have been wearing.
It's not only the goggles that fog up, even the binoculars do they have in the previous couple of races.
That's right, and what a magnificent crowd they've got out here.
Now, Major Decision goes up. Starstruck will be the last one into the gates. Starstruck going into its position. They are all set now for the Melbourne Cup, Foster's Melbourne Cup of 1994. All locked away over the famous 3,200 metres. A little bit of a problem out wide.
Hang on. See, a few of the boys have got 2 or 3 pair of goggles on here. They'll pull a couple down as they're going along.
Light is on in the Cup. And they're off and racing in the Foster's Melbourne Cup 1994 to an electrifying roar. One of the first horses out was Quick Ransom. Down into the inside was Sweet Glory ridden forward. Our Pompeii Gossips. Hear that bell up there early, and so too is Oppressor. They were followed by Umpala, wide out with Gold Sovereign, Pindy behind those, and then came Elko, followed by Coachwood, Vintage Crop. Then Jeune down on the inside, followed by Top Rating next towards the inside. Then came Paris Lane, Double Take, wide out on the track. Toll Bell behind it, and they were followed by well back in the field when they settled Major Decision. Glastonbury goes back to second last. and Clifton Gale was last of all. Running down the straight the first time in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, and Gold Sovereign in front. Leads a length and a half, Sweet Glory. Oppressor third, and Alcove edging close to the outside, then River Verdon followed by Quick Ransom. Toll Bell next, and then out Pompey and Pindy. Out 4 wide was Double Take, trying to improve its position. Then Gossips racing on the inside of Jeune. Coachwood 3 deep, and then Hear That Bell, Grass Valley the rail. Air Seattle was next, and Vintage Crop was also 3 deep. Then Paris Lane top rating the inside, followed by Umpala, Major Decision. Back to second last was Glastonbury, and last of all was Clifton Gale as they work around the back of the track. Inside the 1900 metres point, and Gold Sovereign the leader. The outside is about 2 lengths in front. Second was Alcove, Oppressor third, Sweet Glory fourth. A half length away, Toll Bell fifth, and then came River Verdon racing in between Quick Ransom and Double Take 3 wide. Followed by our Pompey, who's also 3 deep on the outside of the grey Pindy, and Gossips on the rail. Then came Jeune, Coachwood 3 deep, Grass Valley the fence. Followed by Hear That Bell and Vintage Crop. Air Seattle next, followed by Top Rating and Starstruck together from Paris Lane. Umpala down on the rail, and then Major Decision, Glastonbury and Clifton Gale last of all in the field of 24 as they go to the 1400 metre point. Gold Sovereign in front, leads by 2 lengths now. Oppressor in second placing. Toll Bell edging closer third. Alcove has had a beautiful position fourth. Around the outside was Double Take, and then River Verdon. Sweet Glory next. Gossips has been ridden a treat by Darren Beedman. Then came Top Rating. Jeune was next. Quick Ransom behind them from Hear That Bell. Vintage Crop around the outside, followed by Starstruck as they start to bunch up. Umpala, Air Seattle back behind those. Clifton Gale still back at the tail with Major Decision and Glastonbury. Bunching right up with about 800 metres left to go in the Melbourne Cup. Toll Bell went up on the outside of Gold Sovereign to take the lead. Double Take was third around the outside, making up good ground. River Verdon, Air Seattle runs into it. Major Decision around the outside, followed by Jeune. Coachwood's in need of a run as Gold Sovereign drops out of it. Oppressor just behind them. Paris Lane, Glastonbury taken to the outside. Around the turn, many chances in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, and Oppressor is going to lead into the straight. Oppressor from Double Take. Jeune has got a dream run through in the middle. Hear That Bell running on, and here's Paris Lane and Umpala. Alcove comes into it, down to the 300. Jeune skipped a length and a half in front of Paris Lane. Umpala battling on, and then came Alcove. Jeune 2.5 in front. Umpala running on hard the outside. Jeune's in front though, they're not going to get to him, and Jeune has won the Melbourne Cup. Jeune a length and a half, and how easy for him. Paris Lane has run second, Umpala third, then Double Take followed in by Vintage Crop. Hear That Bell, Alcove, Top Rating, Grass Valley. Further back in the field, Oppressor, Starstruck and Gossips. Next in would have been Glastonbury and our Pompey. Further back, Major Decision, then Coachwood, Air Seattle and Pindy. Toll Bell, Sweet Glory, Quick Ransom, River Verdon, Clifton Gale, and Gold Sovereign was last.
Well, Dan, we spoke this morning about how David Hayes put the blinkers on Jeune. He wasn't satisfied with the way the horse ran in the Cox Plate. The horse over-raced. He took the blinkers off and just left the pacifiers on him today. And if ever a guy deserved to win a race like this, it's Wayne Harris. He's had everything, this boy. He's had a brain tumour. Everything's gone wrong for him, but today he's had his moment of glory. And it's so great to see him win on Jeune.
What a thrill for him. He was in a little bit of difficulty, Gary, up to about the 800 metre point when the field really packed up, and he elected to stay to the fence. I think he had to with the horses around him. The run came, and I've got to say the horses won clearly by a length and a half. Yep. But in all honesty,
there's a very happy boy over the back there, Dan. Sorry to interrupt you there, but he is just wrapped. Well, he might be. I just can't believe the things that have happened to Wayne over the years, and he's had weight problems. He was a leading apprentice, won a golden slipper for Bart when he was an apprentice. And now, like he had all that trouble, had the brain tumour. They thought he might even die. He's overcome everything. Here's Johnny just gone up to him now. But what a great thrill it must be for him.
It was a super ride. Paris Lane, you'll find, horse number 6. Has run second, and third placing will be number 9, Umpala. 3, 6 and 9. Let's catch up with the winning Melbourne Cup jockey of 1994, Wayne Harris. John Letts has him.
Yeah. Well, what a place to be. 2 champions, Wayne Harris and Damien Oliver, and the first guy to congratulate Wayne was Damien. And Wayne, what a race to win the Melbourne Cup.
John, I can't believe it. It's everyone's dream.
Wayne, you had a nice run throughout.
I walked out of the boxes, David Hayes told me to go forward. I was banging last early. I put myself into the race, and things just kept happening for me, and he seemed to like that soft ground too.
It was ironic, we were talking before the race, wasn't it? He'd won a Group 2 in England in heavy ground, the only race he'd won over the distance.
That's right. He travelled so well, he didn't pull for me. It's just great. Things just kept opening up.
Wayne, you've won a Golden Slipper on Century Miss. How does it feel today? Wait till you get back there.
John, I've had so much go wrong since the slipper that I never ever thought I'd get a good ride in the Melbourne Cup, and like this is just it's a dream come true.
Wayne, you're one of the guys that really deserve it, and congratulations. It couldn't have gone to a nicer bloke. Congratulations.
I've got so many good friends out there that couldn't be with me today, but I know they're watching and listening, and this is to all my friends that couldn't be here. To my dad, passed away a few years ago, and you're my best supporters, you know.
Fantastic, mate. I bet you they were all there from the furlong in with you.
Yeah, and there's a little fella down the country town here in Victoria who's been through the same as I went through with the tumours.
Yeah.
A little boy called Andrew Reid.
Andrew. Right.
I let him down yesterday. I was supposed to go and see him, but with all the pressure on, this is for you, Andrew, too.
Yeah, you'll be there tomorrow.
My word.
Congratulations.
I'll be very drunk tonight, I'll tell you.
Good on you, mate. Fantastic. The
John,
very happy Wayne Harris.
Thank you very much, Johnny. A great interview. And look at the smile on David Hayes' face. Well, he had top rating in the race. He probably didn't have the preparation for 2 miles, but he had the trump card up his sleeve, Peter Donegan. And it was an import, all right, but this time trained in Australia by David by the name of Jean.
David Hayes, your first Melbourne Cup victory. Congratulations.
Oh, just fantastic. Great ride by Harris, and the horse hit form at the right time, and he exploded. He relished in the ground, so it was a great bonus after his failure in the Cox Plate.
Did you have mixed emotions before the race when the rain came? You know, it probably put a question mark over top rating.
I was very concerned. It was against top rating, but in Germ's favour, so it's lucky when you've got a few runners.
You seem calm and composed. You always do, but is the stomach churning a bit?
I'm very excited, I can tell you.
Well, I know you want to get to the horse, David. Congratulations, and we'll see you at the presentation. David Hayes, the winning trainer, and just a fantastic atmosphere down here in the Mounting Yard, as it is every year, as the Melbourne Cup winner returns. And let's have a listen to the ovation he receives. Wayne Harris bringing him back to the most prized place in Australian racing. Wayne Harris, what a story. And this man who was told just to sit by David Hayes, he said that Shane Dye might make a decision to go another way. Shane Dye today elected to ride Coachwood. Wayne Harris jumped into the saddle, and now he's won the greatest race in Australia. David Hayes from a racing dynasty. His father Colin knows what it's like to win a Melbourne Cup, and David had taken all before him in his short training career. This is the pinnacle for him. So the cap back on the head for Wayne Harris, and very shortly he'll complete the important task of getting on those scales and registering correct weight. We'll be there to chat to him. Dan Mielicki and Gary Willett's up there in the commentary box. What a story this is with Wayne Harris.
Just tremendous. You know, it's like a fairy tale for him, I would think, Peter. There's one sad note after the cup here. I've noticed Darren Beedman being put on a stretcher down here just past the winning post. I don't know if he collapsed or what happened to him, Peter. But he's obviously very distressed. I don't know if he got kicked or something happened to him. But Wayne Harris, boy, he, as I said when they went past the post, he has had everything, that boy. He was a champion apprentice. He had weight problems. Then I think he got blood poisoning. He nearly lost a finger. He had a lot of trouble to try and learn to use the whip again properly. Then he had a brain tumour. You name it, poor Wayne's had it.
Quite an amazing story. He really is a fine young man too, and he still is very young. But what a performance and a charmed ride. It was just perfect. $20.30 for Jeune. That's for the win dividend in Victoria, and $6.30 for the place. Number 6, Paris Lane, $2.70. And third, number 9, Umpala, a place dividend of $13.30. The Quinella dividend will be $67.40 for the Quinella, $67.40. Trifecta and some of the other dividends are not available at the moment. So, Pete, Jeune the winner, and I do point out again, it was a terrific ride, and also with the Darren Beedman has been placed in the ambulance as well, and he didn't look in too great a shape. He may have taken a kick, but he certainly came off gossips when the horses were coming back to the race.
Well, here's Wayne Harris now off the scales. I heard you talk about John Letts. Last night we spoke about the chances. I mean, how confident were you going into the race, Wayne?
I was a bit worried. I didn't think the horse was proven on soft ground, and it was watered this morning, the track, and it's been continuous rain through the day. But they told me he handled it he won a race in England on a soft track, and the horse didn't jump cleanly. I was supposed to be a lot further forward than I was, but the horse always travelled beautifully, and I was very confident a long way from home. I just needed the brakes, and he seemed to make his own luck, and I was a bit worried when he pulled his way to the front turning for home. Well, after we straightened that, I was sitting duck for something, but he just travelled so well.
What goes through a jockey's mind at that stage of the Melbourne Cup? All of a sudden, you give your mount a kick, you're in front, and you're just waiting for the others to run you down?
That's right. You're worried as well as you might be travelling well. You don't know what's behind you, and my horse was enjoying the ground very much so, and I thought it was going to be a decent horse to have to pick me up, because I still had plenty of horse under me, like a furlong down, and he just kept fighting, and I saw that winning post there. I wasn't going to stop.
After all the trials and tribulations that you've had in your career and your life, is this the crowning moment?
Oh, definitely. It's every jockey's dream to win the Melbourne Cup. I won the Slipper as an apprentice, and I had so much go wrong since then. Lucky to even get a good ride in the Cup, and I've got a lot of people to thank for today, and a lot of my friends and family can't be here today, and well, I just hope you rode it with me, because someone helped me get home.
Finally, can you believe that you're standing in this spot on the first Tuesday in November?
Definitely not, but it's a day I'll never forget, and I just wish my dear Dad was still here.
Wayne, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wayne Harris, the winning jockey after the 1994 Melbourne Cup. An emotional man, and after everything he's been through in his life, well, what a moment it is for him. We'll take a break from Flemington and be back with the presentation of the Melbourne Cup after this.
Back to Flemington, and there he is, the 1994 champion, Jeune. Correct weight has been notified. We might just get Danny Mielicki to run through those totes for you again, courtesy of Cousins, our correct weight, and Danny, dividends for Victoria, of course, for $1.
Yes, Tim, the winner Jeune, $20.40 for the win, $6.30 for the place. Second, Paris Lane, $2.70, and third, Umpala, $13.30. The Quinella dividend, $67.40. The race-to-race double, $181.60. And as so often the case, there is a delay with the trifecta on the Melbourne Cup. It should be a fair sort of a dividend. So if you've got it, start planning some good holidays overseas. Placings are 3, 6 and 9. Fourth was number 11, Double Take. And fifth home was Alcove. Sixth in the Melbourne Cup was Hear That Bell. The margins were 1 3/4 lengths by a half a neck, and the time was 3 minutes 19.8.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, if you've got that trifecta a couple of times, you can have a holiday anywhere you like, I would imagine. Presentations are ready down on the track for Jeune and his connections. Here's Rob Gaylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was the Derby on Saturday, it's the Cup today, and as his father has known so many times when he has come up here to this podium, it's now his son's turn. David, there's a part of racing history. Congratulations to begin our presentations for this magnificent day of the year here at Flemington. The chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Mr. David Burke, CBE.
His Excellencies, the Honourable Sir John Young, Administrator of Victoria, Lady Young, Premier of Victoria, the Honourable Jeff Kennett and Mrs. Kennett, Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We've just seen the running of another great Melbourne Cup. Before introducing Mr. Kunkel to make the presentation, on behalf of the Victoria Racing Club, I'd like to thank all those owners and trainers who have given the race such good support. Our overseas people, our local people. It's been a wonderful international effort. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Ted Kunkel, Chief Executive, Foster's Brewing Group, who will make the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kunkel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. His Excellency, the Honourable Sir John Young, the Administrator of Victoria, the Honourable Jeff Kennett, Premier of Victoria, and Mr. David Burke, Chairman of the VRC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about the rain, think what it's doing for the farmers. This is the 10th year of the Foster's sponsorship of the Melbourne Cup.